What's up, YouTube fans? Today we're going to look at the Transformers Studio Series 86 Grimlock. So this I got from Walmart. I do have it on pre-order from Toy Dojo, but I guess they just haven't gotten their stock in yet. So we'll be taking a look at the rest of the Studio 86 series as soon as I get that. But I figured I found this guy, I might as well take a look at him. And he's really cool out of the package. He does come with Wheelie. You can see he's in this crouched position here. Unfortunately, his legs don't bend, so that's why he's in that really awkward position off to the side here. Grimlock looks pretty cool. Let's put a image from the G1 cartoon or maybe even the movie. You can see he's got that gold on the chest. He's got that smoked glass with the Autobot symbol there behind it, which is kind of cool. You have the blue eyes versus the red eyes, which makes sense for the cartoon. The gold for the claws here. You do have this nice paint here, the blue and the red and the green. Here's the back, pretty clean. You do have this red detail, which will show up more in the Dino mode. Overall, mostly just plastic, not a lot of paint on this guy. It's mostly just this gray plastic. And here's the front. Pretty good looking in this mode. He does have quite a bit of articulation. Let's go over the articulation on this guy. So the head is on a ball joint, so you get up to there, not too far up, but good amount of down. Rotates all the way around, and then you do get the side-to-side movement. I do like the color on the eyes there. There is no eye-changing gimmick or anything like that. Your ratchet at the shoulder that rotates all the way around. Goes out to the side on a friction joint. You have a rotation at the bicep. Single joint elbow, but it gets you past 90 degrees. There is a bend here, which is really meant for the Dino mode, but you know, just because of the way it's set up, if you try to use that, you'll get this gap on the outside. So you could potentially use this, but then you'd have that ugly thing. So that's why you can't really do that. You do have a wrist rotation, no finger rotation, anything like that. And then these do articulate, so if you want to pose them a little bit differently, you can. They're all nice and tight, and they're on screws, so if you need to tighten them, you can. I like that. You can rotate these wings back and forth and up and down, so you can get those at whatever angle you like. I prefer to have them flared out just a little bit like that. Your rotation at the waist, that rotates freely all the way around. You have the legs that rotate up to there. The hip skirts, again, are built in just like the Hot Rod figure. That's a good way to do business, like that. Goes back all the way and all the way up to there. For a big guy like this, that's really a good amount of movement. Rotation at the thigh. Single jointed knee, which is ratcheted, gets you up to there. Nice and tight ratchet. Goes a little bit forward, one click forward too. And then you get ankle tilt all the way up to there, which is very nice. And you got this cover down piece that kind of makes it, keeps the sculpt from the front. So that's very nice. So all in all, pretty good articulation for, a big guy like this. This is a $50 figure from Hasbro. So it is a leader class price point. But I still think they gave you a good amount of articulation on him. He does come with 2 accessories, so you get this gun. It's very plain. It's just black plastic. It does look appropriate to the character, but that's really it. That does fit in his hand very well, and he can hold that, and that looks good. Oops. He also gets, this is the only other accessory you get, which is Wheelie, and Wheelie does look nice. He's got some nice paint on him. He's pretty much fully painted. So you got this peach paint, you got the orange here, silver for the face, the blue eyes there. You got the Autobot logo. You have the gray here on the legs. Plenty of paint, but the biggest issue with this guy, he does have rotation. Let's go over articulations. The head does rotate all the way around, and it goes up and down on what looks to be a ball joint, I think. The arms rotate around on a ball joint and go up to there. You can pull his weapon here out of his hand, slingshot out of his hand. I forgot what it was for a second. The biggest problem on this guy is the knee. So the hips are on a ball joint, and that's fine. They rotate all the way out to there, all the way up to there, all the way back to there. Plenty of movement. But they really needed to put a joint in the knee, because now you're stuck with his feet bent. They just could have made this a more useful figure by giving it a knee bend. That's all they needed. And of course you do have storage for the gun if you don't want to have it in his hand. There's a little slot right there, and that's going to fit around his arm like that. And I like to hide the arm as much as I can, so I like to put it down like there. But you can hide that back there if you want to. Wheelie also will sit. There's a peg on the bottom of his leg right here, and that will peg into the top of Grimlock's arm. So go ahead and take that and peg him in there. And now he can be sitting shooting his slingshot there on Grimlock's shoulder. So there he is next to what is arguably the king of all Grimlocks, the Fans Toys Grinder. And you can see that the proportions and the sculpt is pretty good for a $50 leader class figure. You know, this is a $200 figure, although on the aftermarket it's now going for $300 or more. But anyway, you know, to be compared with this, you know, it's not really fair. This is a masterpiece. This is a retail figure, but I do think it looks the part. It definitely looks the part, and you know, it's got a good presence for what it is. And for a more appropriate comparison, here is with the Earthrise Optimus, the Netflix version, and then we have the Kingdom version of Primal, and he does scales very nicely with this Optimus. He should be bigger, pretty much towers over him. And it looks good. I think this would fit in perfectly with your Earthrise line. Hopefully they release more of these Dinobots to go with the rest of the Earthrise line. I don't think these are going to appear in the show, but it's nice that we have figures that you can fit in with the rest of your retail stuff. Alright, now let's get Grimlock transformed into his Dino mode. And pretty simple and intuitive transformation. I kind of like the way this mimics the G1, but it kind of has a few of its own things going on too. Go ahead and rotate the arms up. Fold the hands inwards. If you haven't tabbed the arms back in, go ahead and tab them back in. Same on this side. And I didn't mean to take the chest off just yet. Fold that in and then tab the arms back in. All right, go ahead and rotate this down. This is going to sit down here right below that spot right there. Right, go ahead and take the head, fold that in. And then we can take care of this part. These just fold inwards and peg together, just like that. And then take this, and that's going to peg in. You can rotate his head down. You can rotate these arms up. And you can kind of basically see them already coming together. We just got to take care of these back legs here. Go ahead and open up this panel here. You can fold up his feet. And then this part here, you're going to fold it this way. You're going to slide the leg inwards on this here, so that it sits like that. And then this is going to accordion all the way up to here. So you do have to bend the second joint a little bit to get that up. And all the way up to there. Same on this side. Go ahead and fold this, slide it on the slider. And then rotate that up. Again, that's going to go all the way up into his legs, like so. Peg these together. On the bottom here, go ahead and take the tail fin, or the tails, the tail fin. Take the tails and fold these out, like so. And then we're going to take these parts and they're going to fold over the legs, but they also have a little tab right here, and that tab is going to slot into that slot you see right there. Go ahead and get that over, that one over, get these pegged together all the way around. Right, and then make sure the last step you can get this slid into here so that it stays together and it holds this piece down. Right, so it should have something look like that. And there is Grimlock in his Dino mode, and he looks really cool. Let's take a quick 360 and we'll put the image up there so you can take a look. Wheelie can move back here. Pretty nice looking. I like the gold that they used, you know, pretty iconic. You got the blue eyes there for the Dino mode. White arms, these are not unpainted. You do have the red paint here. The same paint that was on the legs in the robot mode shows up here. The black, green, red, and blue. Gold on the toes. On the back, just colored plastic, white, and then gray. But overall, good looking Grimlock. You do get quite a bit of articulation in this mode as well. So the head goes down to there, up to there. The mouth closes all the way, and you can open it up to there. There is a peg inside the mouth. We'll talk about that a little bit later, but you can attach weapon effects or flame effects to that. The arm is on a ball joint, so it does rotate all the way around on that ball joint. It doesn't really... It doesn't have that much in and out, but you can get it a little bit out there. You have a bend here at the elbow, so it goes up to there and all the way down to there. So that's probably the farthest out you can get those arms. The leg goes all the way out to there, rotates all the way around. I mean, it's the same as the arm that we had earlier. Rotation at the mid-thigh, and then you can use the other rotation joint here for the leg. So he can bend that way. You can get him into some walking poses or whatever. And then the toes, of course, do still articulate. So if you want to get him taking a step, you can. But overall, he's got some nice articulation. I think they did a good job with that. Let's talk about Wheelie. So Wheelie does have 2 slots here on the legs, which are designed to fit around these pegs on his neck. So you can go ahead and take Wheelie here and get him attached onto his neck here. And there you got him shooting his slingshot while he rides the Grimlock. Oh, I guess I forgot this joint here. There is a rotation at the neck, so you can get that classic look. There he is with the Earthrise Skylinks and the Earthrise Optimus Prime. I did bring in Skylinks for a reason, because his blast effects make the perfect flame for Grimlock's mouth. So there's a little peg there. You can get this right on that peg. It fits perfectly. And now he can be breathing some fire. So I don't know if that was obviously intentional, right? So that the blast effects can be used. I just think, why didn't they just include that, with this figure? Just give him a blast effect. What if you don't have Skylinks or the others with the blast effects? But there you go. He can breathe fire. And one other feature you can have here in the Dino mode is the gun has 2 little tabs right here and here. Those are going to fit into his back right here. So you just slot those in. There you go. There's his gun storage. It looks fine. I do wish it was pointing forwards instead of to the side. Final thoughts on Studio Series Grimlock. I really like him. I think they did a good job. He's a fun figure. If I had to change anything, these leader class figures are $50. For me, I think it should include a few more accessories. The gun is nice, it's fine, but he really should have a sword, and he should have had a flame effect like this, so you could make a scene like this. Now, if you're just buying the Studio Series figures, you're not going to be able to have one of these effects. I guess you could use maybe the flame effects from Hot Rod, but it's not going to look the same. I think this looks a lot better. So that's my only real complaint, is I think they skimped on the accessories. The wheelie is nice. I think he looks good. They did a good job on the paint, but the lack of knee bend really bothers me, because it's very hard to get him into positions. I mean, you saw the positions that had him during the video, but other than that, I think he's pretty cool. I just wish he had a little more articulation. But I do recommend it if you are into the Studio Series figures, or you're just collecting things to go with the retail line, the Earthrise line or the Kingdom line. These are perfect. They fit in really nicely with those lines. So highly recommend it. This I got from Walmart, but you can find this at any real retailer that carries Hasbro products. So good luck hunting for him. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.